Hello everybody, my name is Benjamin. Thank you for clicking on this video. 2020. I mean, what can I say about it that hasn't already been said? It's a seemingly never-ending dumpster fire. But thankfully, it is officially over by the time you're watching this video. So of course, 2020 wasn't 100% bad, just 99.9% bad. We had a lot of good music come out of this year, and I wanted to go over 10 of the tracks that I thought were arguably the best of the year for me personally. Of course, everyone's list will differ person to person, genre to genre. Of course, my list will lean heavier towards the rock and metal scene because that's what I'm into. So enough of the blabbling. Enough of the babbling. Let's get into it. My number 10 pick at the bottom of the list is Play God or Play Dead by Powerman 5000. I really like this song. It actually sounds a lot like another band called Combi Christ. I don't know if you're familiar with them. I got into them in 2013 when they did all of the music for the Devil May Cry reboot. You know the one.
You don't look a day over 12,000. You.
I can't help it. It had good music, and I enjoyed the gameplay. But we're not here to talk about the game. The song is actually really good. I really like the subject matter that they're talking about. If I had to guess, I'd say they're kind of picking on the way social media has just kind of made us all pseudo-stars, and that at any given moment, any one of us can be replaced with somebody else. The reason why it's so low on the list is because it sounds too much like Combi Christ, and other than the vocals, which are obviously Powerman, I don't really see a lot of Powerman in this song. I understand that bands need to reinvent themselves time to time, but yeah, I would like them to incorporate at least 70% of their original sound before they go out and try new things, and this pretty much just sounds like a Combi Christ song, which isn't good, but isn't bad either. My number 9 song, I was actually really excited for. I thought it'd be a lot higher in the list as it came out earlier in the year, but as time has gone on, I've started to notice some issues with it. Number 9 is Parasite Eve by Bring Me the Horizon. Now, first off, this song is fantastic for one thing and one thing only. Mick Gordon. Who's Mick Gordon? Oh, I don't know. Ever hear of a game called Doom or Doom Eternal? Yeah, the new ones. All that's done by the man Mick Gordon, and he is a freaking musical genius. So I was ecstatic to find out that a well-known band was reaching out to a video game music producer to help collaborate on a song. I was ecstatic. I was really big into the Doom games. I love the music, so this was going to be right up my alley. The song delivers. It's great. It's fantastic. It's different. It's got all the elements you could want. There are parts that clearly sound like Mick Gordon had his hand on it, and obviously there are parts that sound like Bring Me the Horizon. Only problem is the lyric choice. A lot of the lyrics are, I have a fever, don't sneeze on me, can't breathe, washing your hands. Like, it's kinda on the head. Point is, it's gonna be horrifically dated come this time, say, I don't know, 2022. To the point where I could probably let my future kids listen to it and they would all understand it came out in 2020. The next song on the list, my number 8, is Demolisher by Slaughter to Prevail. Oh my god, this song is so visceral and just so brutal. There's obviously more brutal music out there, such as Bat, for those of you who've heard that band, but oh my lord, I mean, it's just nuts. I mean, the vocalist sounds like somebody put a bunch of gravel in a blender and then recorded the audio, which isn't necessarily a bad thing or a diss. The song is brutal, it's fast, it's one of those songs you'd probably want to put on before you work out, or if you're fat and lazy like me, you put it on while you take a freakishly long walk, only to find out you've burned enough calories to justify a Hostess cupcake, which you already ate before you went on the walk. Coming in at number 7 is a song I think everybody should have heard by now. It's Ohms by Deftones. It's getting a lot of play right now on those butt rock stations, but I gotta say, that main riff is just so, I almost want to say it's kind of bubbly. Yeah, it really just puts a smile on my face. It's just something nice to kind of soothe over the crap fest that has been 2020. I'm kind of surprised, though, given the track title and as well as a lot of the imagery associated with the music videos and even the album cover. It would kind of insinuate there'd be a lot of more techno or EDM elements integrated into these tracks in this album, but surprisingly not. Irregardless, Ohms is awesome from beginning to end. It starts strong, it ends strong, and it's actually the closing track on the album, which is great because in my personal opinion, it was the best song on the album. Number 5 is actually a new song by Marilyn Manson called Perfume. Oh man, Marilyn Manson, that takes me back. It was like 2001, The Matrix came out, Reloaded, bought the soundtrack, Marilyn Manson was on it, and I had never heard anything like it, to be honest. Something about this track kind of reminds me of The Dope Show that he had put out a while back. And something about both of those tracks remind me of David Bowie for some reason. It's almost like if Marilyn Manson's like David Bowie on Halloween. Regardless, the track is great. It's not too over the top, at least in terms of sound. There isn't very many heavy guitars. In fact, there's a lot of eerie and creepy synths, which you'd associate with Mr. Manson, as well as a lot of the lyrics I really enjoyed. The fashionable fascism, say that 5 times fast, and other elements like that, as well as the very opening line of "Get behind me, Satan," while he's chanting it almost like if he was imitating a child. Very, very unsettling, but a great track nonetheless. Song number 5 is "Let the Chaos Reign" by Pop Evil. Pop Evil is a band that's been around for a little while. They've gotten some airtime here and there, primarily on the butt rock stations. However, this song is not getting any airtime as far as I am aware. I listen to my local butt rock station quite often. I stream one online when I'm at work, and this song has yet to come on the air. And it is a disservice to this band. I'm not gonna lie, when Pop Evil hit the scene, they didn't really do too much to shake it up. There was a couple elements that they brought to the table that were new and different, but for the most part, they didn't really wow me. This song wows me. This song is fantastic. I would not be surprised in the near future we saw this in like a trailer for like the next Halo or Call of Duty. It's just one of those songs where it's just, you automatically associate it with a war zone, so to speak. It's great. I love it. And in fact, while listening to it, I was even motivated to come up with some ideas for a video game myself. We'll talk about that one day, perhaps. But for the meantime, yeah, it's awesome. You need to go check it out. Give it some love. You know, help the numbers go up on Spotify or wherever you listen to it. It's great. You will not be disappointed. Do you like junk food? I like junk food. I like going to 7-Eleven at 11 at night and picking out one of every single baked good that they have at the cash register. You know, the ones, the brownie, the brookie, the cookie. It's junk food. It's fantastic. It's sweet. It tastes good. Not very good for you, but man, you're in heaven for those 5 minutes or so when you're eating it. Number 5 is junk food for your ears. Number 5 is Terminator Oscillator by Static X, and oh man. I mean, I honestly can't sum it up any better. It's junk food. It's junk food for your ears. What's a Terminator Oscillator? I don't know. I'd imagine it's Arnold Schwarzenegger holding a submachine gun while somebody spins him around in an office chair. The lyrics are all over the place, but the music itself is just so good. Like I said, it's junk food. It's junk food. There isn't some deep 7th layer of your mind meaning behind it. It's just good fun. It's just awesome. It's bouncy, and it's fantastic. Go give it a listen. Song number 3 is Experiment on Me by Halsey. This song is fantastic. I would put it higher, but the other 2 songs, well, one's just outright better, and then 2 has sentimental kind of value to it. I'll explain later. This is where I want to see rock and roll, or I guess rock, metal. This is where I want to see the rock genre head in this direction. Blend of EDM, upbeat, high octane, I would almost say it was cinematic, but cinematic is for your eyes. But yeah, it's a cinematic experience for your ears. It's very intense. It's very upbeat. It's unapologetic. It's aggressive in a more unique way than opposed to, say, your metal screaming or blast beats on drums. I had done some research because prior to the song, I'd never heard of Halsey, and none of her older stuff sounds anything like this. If by some weird freak chance she's watching, please do more music like this. This song was freaking fantastic. To be honest, I do see some signs of the rock scene kind of going in this direction. I'm all for it, man. I love it. I think it's great. I hope music in the future is more like this. Speaking of music in the future, real side note, I do believe that 2021 will finally give us a song from some artist that no one will be able to define. And what I mean by that is, I think we're finally going to get this amalgamation of so many elements and genres that no one's going to be able to put that song in a category. And I believe that Experiment on Me is one of the first steps in that direction. Song number 2 is from a video game. Screw you, it's my list. I'll do what I want with it. Bury the Light by Cassie Edwards, featuring Victor Borba. Victor Borba. Sorry if I butchered your name.
Foolishness, Dante. Foolishness.
This song, kind of like how I was alluding to with my number 3 pick, this is the future of rock to me. This super over-the-top, heavily influenced of EDM and even some elements of like the rave scene. This is what I want to see from the future of rock and roll. Rock and roll used to be this show, so to speak. It was very grandiose. It was very grandiose in its tone, the subject matter that singers would sing about, and of course the performers themselves. This song harkens back. This song is so over the top. It's like 9 minutes long. It has this awesome, epic, almost orchestral intro. There's heavy elements of EDM. I think even the splash of dubstep's in there. There's a guitar solo. And this guy, Vic Borba, I really hope I'm saying his name right. He does such a phenomenal job with his vocals. He does things that, not the way that he sounds per se, but the way that he uses his voice almost like an instrument. Kind of reminds me of Chris Cornell. Chris Cornell used to do some pretty phenomenal things with his voice, and I get those kinds of vibes from this guy, Victor. It is fantastic. It is epic. Some people might be turned off by the idea that it's associated with a video game, but I'm here to tell you that the video game media is transcending everything, slowly but surely. Some of the stories in video games are probably good enough to be movies, and the same thing goes with sound design and music. It officially has transcended. Also, with another pick on my list, artists are now reaching out to video game music producers. I mean, it's already happened, and I wouldn't be surprised if in the future we saw someone reach out to Cassie Edwards or even this Victor guy and just have them on the track. This track is amazing. It's epic. If there was ever a track that you needed to feel motivated, this is that track. Finally, here we go. This is number 1. My number 1 song for 2020. The song that it's a big deal for me. This is the sentimental pick that I was talking about earlier. The song is called Hiding From Myself by As Everything Unfolds. This song is great. I feel like I've said that about every song on this track. Really original content here. But what makes this song stand out above everything else for me is because, kind of like how I was mentioning with the first track, Play God or Play Dead by Powerman 5000, it was Powerman 5000 sounding like Comedy Christ, not a mixture of the two or 70-30 as I prefer. This band, this group, has strong elements of Paramore, the pop punk band or pop band, depending on how you look at it, accompanied with metalcore and metal and hard rock elements. It's great because there's a couple of Paramore songs that I actually do enjoy, but for the most part, I don't really care for their music. My wife loves their music, so when I stumbled across these guys, this was perfect. She gets the satisfaction of Paramore elements, and I get the satisfaction of not having to hear about somebody being in love for the 14th time. It's real great. The guitarist, I haven't done too much research on this band, but the guitarist, that riff that he wrote for this song, assuming he wrote it, very bouncy, very poppy, very, very Paramore inspired. And to be honest, them sounding like Paramore is not a bad thing, because like I said, there's a decent element. They don't just sound like a band emulating this other band. There's a balance, there's a blend to it. And for those of you who don't know, Paramore is pretty much disbanded. They're not putting out any music anymore. Hayley Williams is putting out her own music. Surprisingly, not as poppy as I was expecting. Actually leans heavier towards the alternative stuff. But right now there's a vacuum. There's a vacuum, so to speak, for Paramore fans. Obviously, most of them will probably just follow Hayley wherever she goes. But even the stuff that she's putting out doesn't really embody the Paramore sound. And this does. This does for sure. I remember when I heard it, I was like, I made my wife stop what she was doing. Like, we have to listen to this. This is great. Hopefully in the future, I would actually like them to see, I would like them to put out stuff that's actually just a little less hard. Because that was one of the complaints of my wife. Oh, it's too hard and they scream too much. But yeah, there's definitely a future for this band. I definitely see them going places, despite the current situation of the world. Really, just bands as a whole, they're gonna have to figure out how to work around this pandemic until it inevitably will go away. But anyway, that was my list. Thank you guys for watching. Obviously, I couldn't hear every song that came out this year, so go ahead and down in the comment section, let me know what song should have been on this list or your list personally. I'm always open to hear new music. Thanks for watching.